like, oh, that's not bad. That's not average. It's good. It could be better.
she said, let's just restart. Like, we could wipe out half of those people.
No,
we don't need them.
We're not wiping out existence.
What the world needs. What do you think the world needs right now, in your mind?
The world, I think, needs right now, at least some parts of the world. I don't know if the entire world, but seeing like the weather and everything lately, I was gonna say like the world might need like a little reset, like a, like.
she said, let's just restart. Like, we could wipe out half of those people.
No,
we don't need them.
We're not wiping out existence per se.
She said one child policy. We don't need no more. Too many bodies up here. Okay. I'm just kidding. No. What do you think what do you think the world needs?
Oh man, the world needs a lot of love. The world needs less wars. The world needs reform. The world needs a lot of stuff. I can't believe that we're still where we are, like in different parts of the world. Like it sucks. Like we hashtag thankful because we don't see a lot of that stuff that actually happens. At the same time, though, I know there's like waters out there that are like super crystal clear and like it's really nice too. Like that actually also exists. Like it's kind of sucks that like not a lot of people will ever get to experience it. And me having the opportunity, I haven't experienced it either.
We're in Earth Day. This is Earth month, right? I mean, we're in essentially a really good big trying to be carbon neutral, just trying to make sure that we leave the world better or not as a big of a footprint as we found it.
Yeah.
And so you feel like the world really needs to have...
it needs to be cleaned up for sure. Like, it's been needing it. Like, you constantly hear things like, oh, yeah, like this place, they leaked into the ocean. Or, oh, we're still trying to save the whales. We are barely saving the bees. And the only way we did that was classifying them under some type of a fish. Like, I heard that somewhere, or I read that somewhere, and that's because my boyfriend really loves bees. Like, he's a fanatic. And I'm just like, really? Like, that's the only way? That's how we're making change? But hey, one step closer, one step forward. But it's just like all the loops or like everything that we have to jump through just to do that. And
sure.
Like, I don't know how it's going to work with like the whole emissions thing and the whole, like, I don't even know. Is he still building tunnels under the
Elon Musk? Oh,
yeah.
Dude. Yeah, I think he's still trying to connect that tunnel. It looked pretty deep.
I haven't even seen it.
but I think I would actually. You know what I think? I think I don't say I disagree with you here, right? I don't think I disagree with the world doesn't need to be cleaned up. I think where I disagree with you, I think that's like the biggest thing on the priority list. And that sounds wild to say, but I think the biggest thing on the priority list is the world needs less division. I think one of the biggest problems is that, like, a lot of these things would be solved if a lot of people can just be coming on the same page. Obvious things, right? Like, I think everyone, not even global warming per se, if you want to, be all political with the terms here, but mostly just realize like, hey, it's certain things like that probably should be, we should be reforming these things, finding ways to be able to create energy cheaper. Like, one of the things I find is really odd, and this is like someone coming from a solar background, right? Is that solar is actually probably not the most efficient way to be able to generate energy for a lot of people. Wind farms is probably not the best way to do it. Now, solar is cool and especially for homes, individual homes, like you should get it. But like for like windmills and like all these things to try to power millions and millions of people, and it breaks all the time. Like you've driven to like Arizona or like Las Vegas or something, and you've seen the windmills just broken. They don't even.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, man, it's like people get the what I call it is like you have the prescription for the disease or diagnosis, right? Like I think we all agree on the problem, but the prescription we're providing, I think, is just so insane, right? Like we should just create more power plants. Like it's super cheap. Costs like nothing. It doesn't create anywhere near the amount of emissions that a solar panel would cost. Like the minerals and the materials and like all the things. Like it's just one thing that you can sit there and be and just power millions of people over like X amount of time. Nuclear is really cool, right? But simple things like plastic. Why in God's green earth have we not like got away from this whole plastic thing? Like microparticles are all up in the ocean. Like I'm scared to go into Huntington Beach. I'm like, dude, the water like oh god, you know what I mean? That's like probably 6 bottles I just drank, right? You know what I mean? Like so it's really odd that we kind of like we're finding that plastic are in the food that we eat, like fish. Like I don't know if you heard about this, but like you eat fish and there's plastic particles like
whatever it is that they ate or in the contaminated water.
The thing is about sand is like a I don't want to call it a shredder, but like it just dissolves things as it hits it and crashes on top of that bottle. So it's like a little microcell that you can barely even see, and that stuff is in your fish and you're eating it when you go to sushi or whatever, and you're just realizing like whoa, like how something out of sight but out of mind, but man, is it affecting just your kids' lives in the future? You got to be careful about stuff like this. So I agree with you. I think it's a big thing, but I think it starts with just the divisiveness so much of people.
Yeah, well, definitely, like, besides the organizations that are already trying to, like, do the most and, like, do different, things like helping hunger or helping the ocean or just, like, helping emissions, everything, we have that, but I think politics has also like a big hand in a lot of things. People are always pushing their own agendas. We have the prescription, but we always get FDA regulated for a lot of things anyway, so you may have it, but then they're like, take this out, take this out, take this out, and you can't market that, and so like you're not really given what you actually need anymore. You're just given like a filler, as you would say. So like I totally understand. And we have our representatives, and we have all these people that are actually doing things. And I don't know too much about like politics, but from what I did see on the Twitter community, there's this one, I don't know if she's like a senator or representative or what, but she's like actually doing a lot for, I believe it's the state of Texas. I think her name is like Alexandria Ocasio. I may be incorrect. She might not be from Texas, but
she's a district of New York. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's like
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
There we go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like whenever she starts her program or like whatever, she's like, oh, we've done this, we've helped this many people, we actually said that we were going to talk about this, and we did this, and this is what we did with your money, and this is how we relocated. And like when I saw that, I was like, yes, there's somebody doing something out there for at least one community. Now we need more, like how can we get her to educate or to like get more people on board, like.
No, I hear you. I think it's really important to be able to not only just help your own community, but to be able to pay that message forward. But I think that's a big part. And this is why I think the divisiveness is like what the world needs. Now, I'm not trying to discount the planet. Without the planet, we all die, right? So mm-hmm. I clearly believe that that's like on the, if not the second next thing, it really is on the top of the priority list. But the way I see things is that like a lot of people don't speak. Like you have these thoughts, right? I have these thoughts, but I go on Twitter, I go on Facebook, right? And I think that like I'm speaking, but I'm not really speaking. I'm speaking to the ether, this internet of millions and millions and millions and millions of other people, billions of other people just trying to message a comment, pull something up, and try to get heard from someone, right? And maybe 10 people will see it out of billions of individuals, which makes it so that like what big of a difference are we making? I think that we could be more active in our local communities, and by being more active, we can be the example. And by being the example, more people want to be that. We'll either want to move to where we are, or we'll want to be able to, or want bring those policies to other places. You're able to fester things. So I think like local politics is a big aspect of things, which is like a big part of what we want to do here is like get people on here who are from the community, talk about the things that matters to you, mm-hmm. right? Like you're talking about a worldly thing. Now I want to go on.
But you want to talk local now.
Now I'm going to bring it down.
Okay.
See when I went there?
Yes.
I did that right there.